Hi, everyone. Continuing this special weekend focused on Knockin' on Heaven's Door, the first cover that I'm doing is Eric Clapton's version. And, well, he did this 2 years after it was released, so by Bob Dylan, so that means 1975. Let's see how it sounds.
Badge over me. I can't use it anymore. It's getting dark, too dark to see. Feel like I'm knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
Okay, this is great because I love how differently Eric Clapton has set this compared to Bob Dylan's original. I love how much it feels like he's come up with his own perspective on the story. From the very beginning, the introduction where the instruments are kind of laying the groundwork for us, it feels so different. At first, I couldn't figure out, is this going to be sort of tongue-in-cheek, humorous? You know, it's got a little bit of a bounce and swing to it, but no. Instead, when he comes in with that first word, ma, and he sings ma instead of mama, ma, it's so sad and it's so helpless, and the way he's singing this, it's like, it feels like a different story, a different portrait than what I was talking about with Bob Dylan's version. This one is not focusing so much on the person and what he's saying there. It's focused more on how he feels and not physically, but emotionally, how he feels. And he's so incredibly sad and mournful. And even this knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door, the chorus, it doesn't have that sort of, soul takes flight. And, I've reached the promised land. I'm entering the promised land feeling. This is more, mournful.
Mom, take these guns away from me. I can't shoot them anymore. There's a long black cloud following me.
The harmonica, the way it comes in there. The drums. This chorus, you could even say it's almost like I don't know, and this is me having never seen the movie, so I don't really know the other than what I read yesterday listening to Bob Dylan's version. I don't know any more of the story, but somehow it makes me feel like, this person, he's he's lying in bed in this little frontier cabin, and he's sad about it, and somehow some of the community ladies are standing around, also kind of clicking their tongues, shaking their head at the sadness of his fate, knocking on heaven's door. It's almost like they're talking among themselves about the fact that he's not going to make it. What does this? Stick the cello. Chorus in the background.
Take this badge off of me. I can't use it anymore. It's getting dark, too dark to see. Feel like I'm knocking on heaven's door. Knocking on heaven's door.
I love this harmonica with the guitar and the... Is that saxophone or is it guitar? I can't even tell. I guess it's guitar.
Knocking on heaven's door.
I love the fact that all of these instruments, yes, okay, if I'm going to get technical and historical and all of that, then I would say it's really leaning hard into the blues style, you know, the even the sonic elements, the way the harmonica is being played, the way the guitar is being played, all of this, you know, it has a really bluesy feel to it. But I'm going to say it differently today because I don't want to just say, oh, it's this style or that style. That's not my intent. My intent is to really notice how and what the music is doing to give us a certain experience. So I'm going to put it in different words today. I love the way each of these instruments is so, the tonal choices and the way they're being played sets up this really rustic, rough, unfinished feel. I don't mean the music feels unfinished, but I'm speaking in terms of, well, if we're going to take the cabin on the frontier scenario, then it's the dust outside. It's the fact that a lot of the wood is raw and rough sawn. It's all of this roughness and rustic and unfinished rawness that we find in places like that. But more than that, it creaks. It creaks like the floorboards that are a bit loose, and you walk across them and they creak and they give under you a little bit. It's this creak. You hear the instruments even giving that sort of creak sound, and I love it because even though the blues style really wasn't what we heard out in the Wild West, what he is doing, employing this style and giving this sonic texture and tonal feel to it, works so incredibly well to paint a picture in our minds, doesn't it? And just as we're coming to the end here, let's just back up a little bit and notice some of that creak and that roughness and the sort of, there's a softness about it too, because as I like to say, all of those materials have a bit of give to them. We're not dealing with pavement and concrete and stone. We're dealing with soft materials, wood, dirt, even the nails, you know, they have some give to them as well.
Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
That bass down there. I still feel like there might be some saxophone maybe, or bass woodwind down there. Maybe a little bit of organ, there's a little bit of piano maybe, but they're all just so blended together to give this incredibly natural. A completely different interpretation of Knockin' on Heaven's Door. And as I said partway through, I love that. I love when I hear a piece being owned by an artist. On a much finer level, this is what I look for even when I'm listening to a classical musician perform, let's say, a Beethoven symphony that has been performed how many hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of times since it was first written. And typically, they should stick pretty consistently to the notes written on the page, but still, I want to hear them make it their own. I want to hear them own that piece. I want it to become personal. And that is what I love here about Eric Clapton's version. It's not because it's in a different style that I love it. I love that it feels so personal, so much like he has taken on this identity, this personality. He's given it a life of his own and a story of his own. And as I was kind of talking about the frontier image and the ladies gathered around kind of discussing and sympathizing with the fate of the dying man, it's like these things that I'm saying, they don't have to be the way you feel it. I'm simply trying to come up with expressions and illustrations to help you hear and feel how distinct and different and what really is the music portraying and conveying. This is one option. Maybe you have some more, that because music like this is incredibly powerful, and each of us, it paints the image on our own internal canvas. And so as you start talking and commenting, I'd be really interested to hear, what sort of portrait does it paint in your mind's eye? How do you feel and experience this piece of music? And especially because this whole weekend is devoted to this particular song, how do you feel it differently from Bob Dylan's version? And how do you feel it differently from whatever version I'm listening to next, which I don't even know yet? So that is my first time hearing Eric Clapton handling Knockin' on Heaven's Door. And it was very enjoyable, very much his own. And I'll see you soon.